Okay, let's talk about two little phrases that cause a lot of confusion in English. I have to do this, and I don't have to do this. They seem pretty straightforward, right? But one of them trips people up all the time. So today, we're going to clear that up once and for all so you can use them like a pro. Let's jump right in.
So just look at this climber. Pretty amazing. To get all the way to the top of that rock, what does she have to do? That question right there gets us to the core of our first big idea, obligation.
All right, first up is the positive one, have to. This is our go-to phrase when we're talking about things that are necessary, things that are an obligation.
The rule here is really simple. When something is a must, a requirement, you use have to, or, has to if you're talking about a he, she, or it. Just think of it as something that's not up for debate. It just has to be done. Our climber, Tilly Parkins, says it perfectly. She would tell you, you have to be very fit and strong to go climbing. It's just a fundamental requirement for the sport. You can't really get around it.
Okay, so let's jump from climbing over to football. Here we've got a professional player, Tony Mancini. Do you think the same idea of obligation applies to his job?
Oh, for sure, 100%. Just like a climber, professional footballers have to be incredibly fit. It's an obligation that just comes with the territory. So, have to is all about a rule or a strong need that usually comes from the outside, like the rules of a game or the demands of your job.
And here is where it gets a little tricky. We're going to flip it to the negative, don't have to, and this is where a super common mistake pops up.
So, this leads us to the big question. If have to means it's an obligation, then don't have to must mean it's forbidden, right? I mean, that sounds logical, doesn't it?
The answer, though, is a big, simple no. And honestly, getting this right is a total game changer for your English. Don't have to does not mean something is prohibited. So what does it mean then? Well, don't have to just means there's no need. It's totally optional. You can do it if you feel like it, but you're not required to. The obligation is just gone.
Let's check back in with our climber, Tilly. She has to be fit, we know that, but she says she doesn't have to train every single day. For her, 2 or 3 times a week is plenty. See? It's not necessary for her to train daily. It's her choice.
Okay, let's put these two side by side. I want to make this key difference totally 100% clear.
Here it is, boiled down. Have to means it's necessary. Don't have to means there's a lack of necessity. It's that simple, really. Obligation versus option. So you're probably wondering, if don't have to isn't for prohibitions, what word do I use? Well, let's bring in the real hero of prohibition, mustn't. This is the final piece of the puzzle. Let's look at them head to head. If you go to the British Museum, it's free, so you don't have to pay. It's not necessary. But what about telling lies? Well, that's forbidden. You mustn't tell lies. You see that huge difference? One is optional, the other is a strict rule against doing something. A great way to remember this is to think of a traffic light. Don't have to is a green light. It means go ahead if you want, but you don't have to. The choice is yours.
But mustn't, that's a big red light. It means stop, don't do it, no way, it is absolutely prohibited. That's your word for prohibition, not don't have to.
Okay, you've got the theory down. Now let's do a couple of quick examples to make sure this all really sinks in.
All right, have a look at this bedroom. Wow, it's a disaster. Now, imagine you need to clean it up before your friends come over. What are we dealing with here?
So how would you finish this sentence? My bedroom's such a mess. I blank tidy it up before anyone sees it. What do you think? Is this an obligation or is it optional?
That's it. You must or you have to tidy it up. It feels like a strong personal obligation, right? You need to get it clean. Awesome. Okay, let's do one more using our museum example. The British Museum is free. You blank pay. What goes in that blank?
Perfect! You don't have to pay. It's not necessary at all because it's free. This is a perfect example of no obligation whatsoever.
And to finish up, let's make this really personal. Think about your day today. What is one thing you absolutely have to do? A real, non-negotiable obligation. And now, what's one thing you don't have to do? Something that's totally optional. Because, actually using this stuff in your own life is the absolute best way to make it stick.